ACIM Gather. Really appreciate you tuning in. And thank you everybody here in San Francisco. I am Reverend Tony Ponticello, and the title of my talk today is The Last Birthday. So I'll explain a little bit what I mean by that. So Friday, this past Friday, June 7, was my birthday. And I had a great birthday, and I celebrated it. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I had some different guidance about my birthday, and what I decided was that last year, on 2018, when I had my birthday, that was going to be my last traditional birthday. Traditional birthday in that I was no longer going to announce or even try to think about my chronological age. So last year, of course, it was my birthday, and I told everybody how old I was becoming. I like that. We never tell people how young we're becoming. We tell people how old we're becoming. And, that's the habit of people. That was my habit. I didn't really see anything wrong with that. But I was aware that there were some people who didn't do that. There are some people who didn't do that. And, that kind of lodged. And a couple days before my birthday this year, I just got that guidance that I would become one of these people who would not think about the chronological age that they are. Now, of course, I can compute it. I remember the year I was born, and there's, sometimes some legal forms that you have to write that down. It's not that I'm going to become fanatical about it, but it's about my own conceptualization of self. And I just found that as the number started increasing, it's work to have to stop that thought system that says you're getting older and that has certain ideas and certain significance about it. And as you get older and older, a lot of those meanings and significances are actually kind of negative. And I had my own challenge about letting go of those. And so one of the reasons why I've decided to do this is just to assist myself in my challenge about letting go of those. Also, have you ever noticed that I noticed that when I would tell people what my chronological age was, I would many times get, wow, you look really good for your age. And, while they mean that as a compliment, I'm really aware that what that means is you look really good for somebody as old as you are. And also that you never go up to a young person, you don't go up to a 26-year-old and say, wow, you look really good for your age. It's only something you say to somebody who you know is old. And I'm just going to just let go of that, and nobody has to tell me anymore that I look really good for my age, because I'm not going to tell them the chronological age, and it's not because I'm just not going to voice it. I'm trying not to voice it within my own head as well. I'm just trying to let go of this idea. I am timeless and eternal, and the truth is that is how I feel. I feel timeless and eternal, and I want to identify more and more with that timeless and eternal self that is me. And why associate this chronological thing that has all of these worldly implications about it, most of which are things I'm trying to move away from. I'm not moving towards any of those things, I'm moving away from those things. And so I got the guidance, and I made the announcement that I'm not going to lead anymore with the chronological idea that last year, 2018, was my last birthday. It was the last traditional birthday that I have, and now it's just a day to celebrate my life. I have this day, June 7th, and I just celebrate my life on June 7th. And that is great. And I had a great celebration. A group of us, 7 of us, went to the Young Museum. We saw their yearly exhibit, Bouquets to Art, which is the most amazingly beautiful thing you can possibly imagine. All of these florists doing these incredibly creative, gorgeous floral arrangements, artistic, creative, unique, that set off certain works of art. And they're spread all over the museum. And you know, there were 140 of them actually. I'm sure we saw a lot of them. I don't know if we saw all 140. Anyway, that was amazing. It was just great being there with everybody from the Community Miracle Center. And then we had lunch at the museum restaurant, and that was fun and great. There's a beautiful dining room, and it's bright and sunny. And it was just great being with everybody. Then afterwards, Reverend Duselty and I went to go see that new movie about Elton John named Rocket Man. And that was amazing. That was an amazing movie. Did you see it? It was an amazing movie. You know, one of the things that I realized as I was thinking about preparing this talk is, you know, a key element in that movie is that the creativity and the songs and the music come out of a relationship. It's his relationship with the lyricist, Bernie Taupin. And so it's Elton John and Bernie Taupin combined and form a wholly artistic relationship. And it emphasizes over and over that in all their years, decades now being together, they've never had a fight. I thought that was really interesting. And they had little disagreements, but they never were really angry with each other. And that was it. And it's a great creative movie. And then afterwards, Duselty and Rudy joined us, and Alicia, and we went to a wonderful restaurant, real old San Francisco restaurant. It's been around for many, many years, called the Tadish Grill. It's one of the oldest restaurants in San Francisco. Italian restaurant, so I felt right home there. And we had a great dinner. It was just a great day. So I love celebrating my life on one day a year. I do think the birthday day is significant. I've gotten that message, you know, that your birthday, I think your birthday lesson is significant. And I've talked about that on and off. And so I love celebrating my birthday. But I'm not going to lead with the age thing anymore. And I'm actually really trying not to think about it myself, just not to think about this number, this totally arbitrary number which we associate all of these ideas with. And I'm just going to let it go. And I love my life, and I love celebrating my life. And I love celebrating it here in San Francisco, and I don't always take the whole day off. I took the whole day off. I mean, one of the greatest gifts I could have given myself, I did. I gave myself, and we just got done with that conference in Boston, and my talk that I gave at the finale miraculously did get videoed. I mean, Reverend Lucas was there. It didn't look like we were going to get a video of that talk because the camera wasn't working, and there was all this stuff, but you know, I just remember manifesting a miracle there. I think I'm not accepting that we're not going to get a video of this talk, and I just did what I needed to do. I went and got to talk to the AV person. We got an emergency power cord there, and you know, we got the camera working, so that was really great. There's a video of the talk, and I'm sure it's the best received talk that I've ever given. So, I mean, I think I've given some great talks, and I'm not going to say one talk is better than another, but this one was really, really well received, and people really loved it. And it's up on YouTube now, people are watching it, and for, you know, one of the first times, I'm getting all kinds of really great comments underneath the talk, and people are saying really good things about it, and people are reposting it on their own Facebook pages, and that is just like the greatest birthday present I could possibly have given to myself. And I just thought, you know, that's great. And I'm really grateful that I had that opportunity and I had that guidance to give that talk. And I'm grateful, and I'm just sitting in the glory of that, the gratitude of that, and I'm just letting that be whatever it is going to be. And you know, it's just a really blessed thing. Okay, in that reading that I read, it said, the body is the central figure in the dreaming of the dream, which tells the story of how it was made by other bodies, born into the world outside the body, lives a little while, and dies, to be united in the dust with other bodies, dying like itself. So when we're doing this whole chronological age thing, I think we're just participating in this dream that is the world, that is telling the story of our body, how it was made by other bodies, you know, parents, birth, how that all happened, and then born into this world, and lived a little while, and there was, youth and getting mature, and then being in that prime of life, as they say, and then afterwards that slowly begins to fade. And that's, what seems to happen, and then in the end you're united in the dust. You turn to dust. And God is still love, and that is not His will. I mean, A Course in Miracles says that if that really was the world that God created, you couldn't think of God as being loving. God wouldn't be loving if that was really the world that He created. So that's the dream that we're manifesting. And since we're the ones manifesting it, the only way out of that dream is for us to stop manifesting it. And so I'm challenging myself to stop manifesting that dream of serial body adventures, progressing steadily to this inevitable thing called bodily death. I'm not taking that as a given anymore. I believe that God is still love, and that's not God's will. And since that's not God's will, that's an illusion. I don't have to buy into it. Another reality can manifest itself. I don't know what that other reality will be, but I think A Course in Miracles calls that the real world, the world that will reflect reality. And I'm going to let the real world just be itself. I'm not here to manufacture the real world. I'm here to undo this illusory world that we have that has the dream of death in it, and then just let the real world be itself. There's a wonderful passage in A Course in Miracles, and I do want to give some credit here in a minute to Robert Perry. Okay, so this passage is, "Swear not to die, you holy Son of God." So, swear not to die, you holy Son of God. So for many years of studying the Course, what I always thought that meant was promise that you won't die. Promise that you won't die. And so I would, when I come to it, I would say, I'm not going to die. I would say that. But the trouble with interpreting that phrase like that is the next line that doesn't make sense. Okay, swear not to die, you holy Son of God. You make a bargain that you cannot keep. Well, wait a minute. If I'm supposed to be promising not to die, well, that's a bargain I want to keep. That's not a bargain I cannot keep. So it didn't make sense. And then Robert Perry clarified it in his Circle of Atonement edition. What he says is what that actually means is stop promising to die. Stop promising to die. That's the promise that you cannot keep. We can't keep that promise to die. And we have to confront it. And we have to stop doing it. And then it says, the Son of Life cannot be killed. He is immortal as His Father. So stop promising to die. And I'm taking that in and asking for guidance on it. And my guidance was this week is stop counting those years down. Stop making people think, wow, you look really good for your age. I'm eternal and timeless, and we all look really great all the time, and that's all I ever have to focus in on. If you want to tell me I look great, tell me I look great. I just look great. That's terrific. I will always take that in. And what I see is, I've been, confronting these ideas for a while now. I just see how there's just an epidemic of this thinking, this limited life thinking is so pervasive. It's in everything. I got a card for my birthday, and I'm really grateful that this person sent me a card. Thank God. I mean, I know it was sent in love, and I'm so happy that this person sent me a card. There's a little baby on the card, and it says, "We came into this world wrinkled and squishy. If we're lucky, we leave wrinkled and squishy." And then it says, "In between we party." So, the sentiment is sweet and fun, but it's all about being born in this weak, kind of soft and squishy state, partying for a while, and then dying in a wrinkled and squishy state. And I'm not affirming that. I'm not affirming that anymore. I'm going to actively challenge that. The real world will not have that reflection in it. I can't say what the real world will actually have, but it will have life and people in vital situations and manifesting their life energy and their vitality. And they'll be interacting with people in energetic and loving ways. And it won't be all about this being born weak, gaining maturity, and then having it all dissipate slowly so that you pass, if you're lucky, weak and old. You know, God still is love, and that is not His will. Course in Miracles says the real world is not like this. It has no buildings, and there are no streets where people walk alone and separate. So the real world, that A Course in Miracles says that we're going to be manifesting as the last illusion, the last dream, it's going to be fundamentally different than this world that we seem to be in now. And I think we here at the Community Miracle Center are really challenging us to, engage in this real world thinking and this real world goal because of the theme that we've accepted for our next conference, which is 2020 Vision of the Real World. So 2020 Vision for the Real World, 2020 Vision for the Real World. So we're going to have clear, 2020 Vision means really clear, precise vision for the real world. And I like vision. I mean, vision is a great thing, and it's an important thing to me because in my birthday lesson, which I had on Friday, it talks about vision. And I'm always connected with this idea because it also talks about a teacher. It says a teacher does not give experience because he did not learn it. It revealed itself to him at its appointed time. But vision is his gift. This he can give directly. So that's in my birthday lesson, lesson number 158. I can give vision. I can give my vision. I can't give anybody an experience. They will have to manifest that for themselves, but I can share my vision. And my vision is that the real world that we're going to manifest will not have aging bodies getting weaker and weaker and weaker if they're lucky, if they don't pass or die through some other kind of more tragic way earlier, and finishing their life wrinkled and squishy. I just don't think, I know it's not going to look like that. That's not my vision. That's not what's going to happen. That's the way it may have appeared to us, but that appearance is just the dream that we're having. The Course says the cyclical, the changing, the unsure, the undependable, the unsteady, waxing and waning in a certain way upon a certain path, all this is taken as the will of God, and no one asks if a benign creator could will this. We take this nature thing like this is the will of God, but we need to question, it's not the will of God, because a benign, a loving, a good creator could never have created reality like that. That's our dream. That's our nightmare. That's the dream that we're here to wake up from. We're here to wake up into a real world that doesn't have that element to it. In another place it says, death is the central dream from which all illusions stem. Is it not madness to think of life as being born, aging, losing vitality, and dying in the end? It's madness that we think that that's the way things are supposed to be. That's not the way things are supposed to be. That's the way we may have manifested them. That's the way I have manifested them. But I'm about undoing that manifestation and allowing some glorious experience of life to manifest through me with the Holy Spirit's help. And that's my vision. In the real world, we're not going to be people who are going to be aging, losing vitality, and dying in the end. We're going to be vital and beautiful all throughout our experience here in this world. And so, last year, that was my last birthday, my last traditional birthday. I love my life. I love having a day to celebrate my life. I like June 7th. I like my birthday lesson. I'm great about celebrating my life. But I am eternal and ageless and timeless and vital and beautiful, and all of you are too. So, thank you.